What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of the PlayStation Drive here on Carpool Gaming. This is our 77th episode, and my name is Matt, and I'll be your host for this Drive's events. I'm joined, as always, by the Supreme Court of Canada himself, Mr. Court Lalone. What's up, dude?
Buddy,
How you doing?
happy Friday.
Happy
Honestly,
Friday. Happy Miles Morales PC Day. It's a good day,
honestly,
I think.
it's funny you bring that up because as I hadn't played it in forever, and I love it. It's a Christmas game to me, and I started playing it on the PC, and my daughter was watching me review, and she made me re-download it on the PS5. And while I've been playing, she's been playing side by side, which also helped because the TVs were side by side, and I could actually see the difference in graphics and stuff, which was kind of nice doing a review that way.
There you go. We're gonna get into that in just a couple of minutes because we are going to be talking about Miles Morales. We are going to be talking about Sony Santa Monica, and we are going to be talking about the Game Awards. So strap in because we have plenty to cover on this week's show. But before we do all of that, make sure we have to clean the garage. If you're watching us live on youtube.com/carpoolgaming right now, almost every Friday at 1 p.m. EST, we go live with the new episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, tell us what you want out of the PlayStation Drive going into 2023, and maybe we'll listen. If you're listening to us on your podcast service of choice, make sure you hit us with that follow, that subscribe, with those 5 stars, and leave us a lovely review. It helps us grow and reach more people all around the world. And if you have a few extra bucks to toss our way to tip yo drivers, head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Throw bucks into tip jars, and out comes a cornucopia of content for you to consume. And
Cornucopia.
Yeah, I like that word. For you to
I know you
consume
do.
and enjoy and just marinate over because there's a whole lot there
Jeez,
for you.
is this just the Thanksgiving episode?
Well, it's almost
The
Thanksgiving. It's almost Thanksgiving in America, so
Yeah, we're Canadian. Let's move on from that.
I
It's
know.
almost Christmas.
It is almost Christmas. But without further ado, we need to talk about the things that we have been playing in such a variation of musical tastes, accompaniments, and just things for all
Musical
the
taste.
ages.
This is just getting. Oh Jesus! I just had musical taste.
Yeah, that's right.
What was that?
That's okay. Puberty stuff. Court, what's been on your playlist? What have you been playing, buddy?
Well, you know one thing I've been playing, and we both been playing it, and that is Spider-Man's Miles Morales on PC. I've also been playing it on my PS5, and that's as I was mentioning before, my daughter watched me play it, and it's one of her favorite games. This is the very first game that my daughter ever was watching me play when it first launched on the PS5, and she wanted to play the game. Now, previously when we played it, she was just swinging around Brooklyn, and that's all she wanted to do. When there was bad guys, she would give me the controller.
Mm-hmm.
Now she was learning combos yesterday. She was doing finishers. She figured out, circle button. She's big into video games lately, and it's awesome to see. So I've been playing that. I've also just recently I finished Gotham Knights on my PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a review on Carpool Gaming. Myself and Ryan Turford. It dropped today. We had our thoughts on that and how the story hurt me as a Batman fan. Really? I'm gonna have to say, yeah, I really felt as someone that really likes the Court of Owls in the comic books and the new 52s from Snyder and Capello. It's a phenomenal storyline, and I thought they did not do it justice. I thought they kind of left a lot on the table, and when they ended that storyline in the game, I was very confused. I don't want to give away spoilers on the game. I know it's very divisive, this game, but the 30 frames and all that, it's a Batman story. I wanted to jump in. I wanted to play Batman, but yeah, I had a lot of issues with how they did the story and how they did everything together, and that was my biggest takeaway from it. It is a spoiler review on Carpool Gaming if you want to go check it out. We have it up on YouTube. It will be dropping as an extra mile as well for your podcast listeners out there. And then I was telling you,
so let me ask you this then, because I'm curious now with Black Friday going on, and we'll get into all that in a little bit. Gotham Knights is already on sale, and from a lot of the reviews and the stuff that I've seen online, the story and the character ratings seem to be a lot of people's saving grace, even though it may have not resonated with you as much. Is it worth the pickup at the current sale price, or do you think that people should be waiting for an even deeper sale if they want to check this out?
Okay. Do you know about the Court of Owls, or are you big into Batman?
Me personally, I'm not big into Batman, but I did read the Court of Owls run when it was happening, actually.
Did you really like it?
I did.
Okay. You will be very disappointed by this game. And how much is it right now?
Let's double check. Hold on.
My guess is like $59.99. That's just my guess out there. I think
Gotham
that's what I saw.
Knights, the PS5 standard edition is 40% off. So the
Yeah.
PS5 edition would have been was it 89.99 Canadian?
Yeah, it was a lot.
So that means it's like, yeah, it's like 64.99, something around there.
No, don't buy it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it at that price. I truly think this will be on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus in the near future. Or there's going to be more content drop, and then there'll be a better version to buy. I wouldn't buy this. I would even buy the next game I want to talk about. I slept on Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I never got to play it. It just slipped by me. It is on sale right now in the PlayStation Store, and I grabbed it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop playing it this morning.
Really?
I don't know. I was playing it with my daughter. Once again, if my daughter gets into a game, it brings me in and makes me want to play it more. And this is something that she's having fun with, and it seems like very simple controls. And they got these cute little characters, and she's really loving her time with it with me. And it's something we're playing together. We're just trading off the controller, going back and forth. So, but I would definitely. I don't think that Gotham Knights is something to buy right now. I don't think that's too much money. I truly think that's too much money for this game because one, the 30 frames per second, and then the drops are still there, so it drops between 30. So it gets down to like supposedly like 23. And
Really?
yeah, and the combat, like I said it in the review. I know a lot of people were like, "Hey, let's let them make their own game," and I get that. And Ryan was even bringing up the point of the RPG perspective in the combat, and I was like, "But they perfected the superhero combat in Arkham, and you even see it in Spider-Man. They've tweaked it a bit, but it's the same combat system. You've seen it in other games. Why mess with a good combat system? It doesn't make any sense to me. I feel the upgrades in the game, unless they're your suit, don't matter. So you have all these things and all these components in a game that just, I don't know. The game just doesn't feel like it was ready. It feels like no one knew what they wanted to do with it. It doesn't look like what we saw in the E3 trailer from way back in the day in 2019, I think is when we saw that trailer. It doesn't look like that. I played it because I truly enjoy DC and that world. I got a lot out of it, and then like I finished it, and then I debated whether I should platinum it, but the story itself kind of just it rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay. Fair enough. Well then, at least you finished it. I'm glad you at least got some enjoyment out of it. And yeah, Kana's great. Be ready for the difficulty spikes because they are real.
I put it on story mode, so they won't be
Okay.
that real. You
Okay.
think? Yeah. I remember. For future reference, I play everything on baby mode if it's available, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, no, Kana's great. It's beautiful. It straight up does look like a Pixar movie. I hope you and your daughter continue to enjoy it, and I can't wait to hear more next week. As for myself, yeah, we're going to talk about Miles in just a couple minutes, so I'll leave that there. But I have been playing through Sonic Frontiers. I decided to pick it up last week.
Ooh.
And you know what, dude? I am enjoying this janky mess of a game. I really, really liked Sonic Adventure 2 Battle back in the day. And I liked Sonic Heroes. Those are the Sonic games that I came up on. So I've been waiting for a return to the 3D Sonic for quite some time that's actually decent. And there was something about an open world Sonic that I've always wanted to experience. This game has a lot wrong with it. It has perhaps one of the worst cameras in recent memory. It has some of the most atrocious pop-in in a really, really long time. Some of the gameplay decisions are absolutely infuriating. Yet despite all that, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's on sale here in Canada on Black Friday. I think if you're a Sonic fan and you're looking for fun, I think it's a decent pickup.
How much?
I have to double check how much it is here. It is the physical edition. Let me pull up LBABs.
Well, that's fine. My daughter loves Sonic. She loves Sonic 2 the movie. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's good enough for a Christmas gift.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Okay,
Like,
that's all that matters.
yeah, like I genuinely really enjoy it. And again, like I haven't really resonated with the Sonic and 2D Sonic as blasphemous as it may sound, isn't really my thing. Like I enjoy the 3D Sonic and just like whipping around the world, jumping around, handling the random little puzzle and stuff that comes up. I have a lot of fun just running around and exploring. Again, the game does have a bunch that makes it frustrating and isn't like 100% recommend, but I think for anybody who likes Sonic and is looking for what essentially is Breath of the Wild Sonic, but not as good, if you go in with the expectations for a solid 7 out of 10, I think you'll walk away from the game happy. So I'm enjoying it. And of course, yes, we have been provided Spider-Man Miles Morales for PC by the wonderful folks over at PlayStation Canada. So thank you for providing us with those review codes. And we have been playing it. Court, this game continues to be fantastic. I've been playing it on Steam Deck. I know you've been on PC. Tell me, what do you think about the PC port of Miles Morales?
Well, I think it's pronounced Nixies. Nixies? Is that, am
Is
I
it
pronouncing
Nixies?
it correct?
Maybe.
Nixies? I am.
I always said Nixes, but I might be wrong.
Nixus. You know what? You're better at pronouncing things than me, so we're gonna go say it's Nixus because I know I was pronouncing Ken and Bridge of Spirits incorrectly there, and I still did it, so it's just gonna stay that way. I think this is the developer they need to use for their PC ports moving forward. As you know, I was a tiny bit disappointed in the Uncharted one because it just felt like there was no extras in there. I will give a caveat right off the bat because instead of just throwing out my glowing parts that I loved, there was nothing extra in the game. I thought we were going to get new suits. I really thought they would give us some like extra suits. They didn't. Nothing special for the PC release, which is kind of like a little disappointing when you're trying to do a big push on PC. You could have just done something a little bit fun and give us in a new suit that we could have had in the PC version that also would have dropped on the console version. Just something awesome like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was having issues with the ray tracing, but they did patch it as of today. So the day one patch came out. I've jumped back in. That ray tracing is working just as good as it did in Spider-Man Remastered. It wasn't working for some reason. Like I turn on the ray tracing, it would literally just turn off all reflections altogether. I don't know what was going on, but that was my only big issue that I had with it, because other than that, the combat is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. I was playing in my 3070 RTX. I thought it looked great. 4K. I even had it so that because my daughter was playing, I had the two screens playing at the same time. So I would go to certain sections. It is extremely more bright and extremely more colorful. The Christmas themes in it pop a lot more. And that's one of the things that I love about this game. It's truly the quintessential Christmas game to play. So I had a ton of fun with it. I think they did a phenomenal job with the port. There's great sliders that you can go back and forth. PC players should be picking this up right away. It's my favorite Spider-Man game. I like it better than Spider-Man Remastered. Miles Morales to me is perfect. It is only 8 hours. It's got a lot to do in it. I truly think that PlayStation needs to be dropping these PC ports day and date, but that's my opinion because I think they're doing a great job with them. And I think the PC market is a big enough market that you should be paying attention to it. I also think that every time they drop any of these big games like your Horizons, that we should get these 8-hour story beats like we did with Miles Morales or we did with Lost Legacy, because I truly enjoy them a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think they've really nailed the PC port. So I've been playing on Steam Deck and playing Spider-Man Remastered earlier this year on the Steam Deck. It ran great. You could get between like 40 to 45 on medium if you turned some things on and some things off. But playing Miles Morales, it runs better out the box, so that much worries. On high, you can get between 35 to 40. If you drop the graphics settings to medium, you can get between 40 to 45 without messing anything else. They've optimized it and they've made it even better, which is, surprising to say given it's not like it's been a long time since we got Spider-Man Remastered. So like it runs fantastically. I decided to crank it up to like the ultra high to see what would happen. And surprisingly enough, it stayed between 35 to 40 through the majority of my swing time. It's at one point when I like dived into a busy area, the game froze and crashed. But again, I just wanted to see what would happen if I did it. I'm not expecting to be able to play ultra high on the Steam Deck on the go. It's caveats that you have to be able to take these experiences with you in a portable fashion. Despite all of that, the game runs fantastic and like it looks so good. And just being able to like, travel on my commute yesterday, I popped it open and I was playing Miles Morales with me on the go to work. Like that's
So awesome.
That's incredible. The fact that this is something that works and works well is amazing. And I'm with you. Miles Morales, for me, they really are like on the same level for me because I just have a lot of love for Peter Parker and I have a lot of love for the way that the story was told in the original. I have a lot of love for Miles 2 and the way that things go here. I cannot wait to see what they'll do with Spider-Man 2 because for me these two are incredible. And like I just played Miles Morales a few months ago. Like
Oh wow.
I literally just beat it on a whim. I was like, you know what? I'm going to play this again. Like it was earlier this year. So for me going back into this, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to play through this game again. As soon as I was back in, as soon as the story beats started hitting, as soon as I was swinging around the world again, I was like, yeah, I think I'll beat this again. And like again, it was even as simple as like, you know, the rhino chase at the beginning of the game. Slight spoilers. There's a missable trophy there, or a missable achievement that I was like, ah ha ha, I know what I'm doing this time. I'm getting this on my first go here. It's just fantastic. I love this game and remastered so much. And again, just having it on the Steam Deck blows my mind. If you would have told me 10 years ago that we're gonna have these kinds of experiences on the go, would never have believed you. It's wild that we can do this.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about this game is how alive Brooklyn is,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I like, because in remastered you have so much city to work with.
Yep.
But in Miles Morales, they just have this little borough, and it's Brooklyn, and they bring every single street corner to life, and all the NPCs in the world talk to you, and one thing I was noticing that is not in the PS5 version, even the NPCs, you can see their breath as they walk around in the city, and they don't have that in the version that
Really?
we have on the place, because I was double checking because
Huh.
of the winter theme, right? And you got the snow coming across. The game just looks so good. It looked phenomenal on the PS5, and the fact that it even looks better on PC, it just blows my mind. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So to me, it was an easy, I like this game.
Yeah, and especially because like again, we have a ton of love for this game, and it's the perfect time of year for it too. With
Yeah.
with winter starting here in Canada and the holidays around the corner, I honestly think I might like pause on my current playthrough and wait till December just to get in the little bit of the Christmassy vibes into it. But we're gonna bring in a couple questions in now because we have some listener questions about Spider-Man Miles Morales. So let's get those in. From Steve Vigvari over at SVigvari on Twitter asks, on a scale from amazing to spectacular, how good does ultra wide look? So for myself, I've been playing on Steam Deck. I can't answer that. I don't think you have an ultra wide monitor yourself.
No, Sean has been playing it on ultra wide,
Yes.
so we will be able to answer that question eventually.
Mhm.
Sean is trying to, as a busy father out there, he's just trying to catch up on all these games.
Yep. So we will have a longer spoiler discussion in the next couple weeks with Sean,
Yep.
And we'll get into ultra wide there. So just be ready. That will be coming. And you know what? We'll save the rest of the questions for the carpool a little bit later, but I wanted to just mention the fact that we will have more content coming, and we will be talking about ultra wide soon. But once again, PlayStation Canada, thank you so much for sending us the review copies for this game, because it is spectacular. Everyone go check out Spider-Man Miles Morales on PC. It is out today, so it's amazing.
Yeah, seriously, go play it. Yeah.
Go play it. And without further ado, let's keep this party rolling, dude, because we definitely have some breaking news to talk about. And you know what? Let's stay on this Black Friday train because we've referenced it a couple times now. I'm going to highlight some stuff over from the PlayStation blog written by Gareth Barker about some fantastic PlayStation savings for you. And I'm curious to think what you think about some of these quotes. So for PlayStation Plus, let's start here. You can save 25% on any 12-month membership plan. And here's where it gets a little bit interesting. If you're on Essential, if you currently are a PlayStation Plus member, you can save money if you upgrade. So if you're an Essential and you upgrade to Extra or upgrade to Premium, you can save 25%. If you're on Extra, you can save 25% going to Premium. What I checked on my PlayStation app right before we started recording, I currently have the Premium.
Yep.
Yeah, the Premium tier. That's the word for it. I will save 25% only if I add another year onto my Premium tier.
But we can stack, so that's not a bad deal.
It's not a bad deal. Just to be aware that if you're on Premium and you've been thinking, you know what, I'm going to go down to Extra, this is the time to hop on and keep Premium, because Premium right now is cheaper than if you downgrade to Extra. The Premium on sale right now is like $104.99 for 12
You know
months.
I'm gonna pull Sean Capri here live on air. I'm just gonna do it.
Extra is $114.99. So if you are on Premium and you intend to stay there and you want some of these savings, or even if you're, you know what, whatever, I want to give this another year, now's a good time to hop onto the PlayStation Store and extend your subscription, because again, you will be saving 25%, and that is quite a bit. We have a bunch of sales on the DualSense controllers. I keep staring at that purple one. I think I'm going to pull the trigger. Here in Canada, I think they're down to $64.99 right now in a number of retailers, so check it out.
Trigger's been pulled. It's sitting in the closet. It will be underneath the Christmas tree. My daughter asked for it for Christmas.
Yes,
She's been using the blue controller,
Mhm.
the blue DualSense. And when I was doing some content and I was looking through the ads, and she was like, oh, originally she saw the pink, and
Yeah.
then she saw the purple, and she was like, whoa, I'm in love. I want that purple controller. I was like, all right. I literally got my car, drove to the source just down the street from me.
Yep.
I grabbed it. It's here. I got it. It's
Yeah.
funny. I grabbed that and I grabbed Canterbury Spirits. I bought 2 things, and I just bought an extra thing of premium.
There you go. Doing it live here on the PlayStation Drive. That's right. So make sure you go hop over. And of course, there's a bunch of stuff on sale across the PlayStation Direct store. So for our folks down in the US, you can get some gear. You can get some other stuff there. And of course, there's a huge sale that will be going on the PlayStation Store itself. Miles Morales is on sale 60% off. Gotham Knights is 40% off. Stray is 20% off. The Last of Us is 29% off. So there's a whole big old list of stuff here. So make sure you go check that out. Court, is there anything left on your Black Friday shopping list on PlayStation?
For PlayStation, I was hoping the covers would go on sale because I don't have one. I still got the OG.
How is it not? How you're so right.
I don't have any covers yet, or PlayStation Canada. If you want to give me one for Christmas,
PlayStation Canada,
I won't be mad. Yeah. Well, considering the next thing we'll talk about, I already just pre-ordered. I don't think I want to spend any more on PlayStation, considering I just pre-ordered a PlayStation VR 2.
Yes, we did. PlayStation VR 2 pre-orders went live earlier this week on November 15th. I think there are still some floating around, depending where you're going to look, but they went up.
So yeah, Walmart had them up, and they had an error in the price. So I know myself and a couple other people hopped in and grabbed it because it would be cheaper than the one we got. But they canceled those pre-orders.
Yeah, there you go. That's not a surprise there. So yes, it is up for pre-order. Court got one. I got one. We're both very, very excited for February to get here. Now, Court, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got just the standard bundle, right? Not
standard
the bundle. The standard edition.
Standard edition. No game comes with it. No nothing. We'll see. I'm hoping we'll see what's out there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And it's a little funny because there was a bunch of stories going around being like, Horizon confirmed, day and date launch. I'm like, didn't we already know that? I did get the Horizon bundle just because, again, I just want to have the game. I want to have it ready to go right from the jump. So I'm excited to hop in. Let us know in the comments, are you picking up PSVR 2 on launch? Or are you going to wait a little bit? Because I can't wait. Court. It is expensive. But again,
it ain't cheap, bro.
It ain't cheap, bro. But I'm excited to hop in and check it out when the time comes. Let's keep this train rolling by swinging back around to God of War, written by Ryan Dinsdale over on IGN. Sony's God of War studio has quote unquote a lot of different things in the works. Speaking to Los Angeles Times, Santa Monica's creative director Cory Barlog said the studio's currently spread out on a lot of different things, presumably including the project he moved to after leaving God of War. It's unclear exactly what these projects are, as Barlog refused to give anything more. Santa Monica also has an external development team that publishes third-party games like Hohokum and Twisted Metal, so that could also be included in the projects mentioned. So, Court, I'm assuming they're doing their Naughty Dog thing right now, and they are splitting teams. They have multiple teams going. What do you think we're getting here if we're getting multiple things? I know we touched on it last week, but let's circle back around.
I think we are getting one of those 8-hour story things.
Okay.
I think we're going to, and so I won't.
Don't spoil yet.
It has, yeah. So it has to do with what happens at the part of the game. I don't even know how to say it, but I think we will get something else from God of War Ragnarok.
Yep.
I think we will get something else from that story, which will be awesome. I truly can't wait to dive into it. I think we'll get one of those characters from the north side and on the other side, and I think they're going to be a team. I truly think that's what we're getting. What we'll get out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm really hoping that we get a new IP.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's what I hope. And we know we're getting that documentary. They kind of alluded to one of those things is that documentary that we're going to see on the pressures of creating God of War after putting out a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think we probably are getting something smaller akin to a Miles Morales or a Lost Legacy in the God of War universe. And I really want a new IP. I'm sure Cory is working on a new IP. Do you think, let me ask you this, do you think that there's a chance that he may be working on another PlayStation property that they are revitalizing the same way as God of War, or do you think he's entirely in a new space?
I think he's earned the right to make his own game on the way he wants. I know he wanted to make that Space Odyssey type game.
Yeah.
I think they're going to let him make something. Otherwise, he would have had more of his hands on with Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, he's not as much in it. It's more of a Star Wars thing. They had another director on that bad boy.
He's producing.
Producer, yes. Because he wrote the story, right? So it was his story, and they put it into 2 games. I have a funny feeling they're going to let him hey, here's what you want to do, and let him make a different game, because it can only help PlayStation to
Yep.
put out a new IP and have another thing in their saddle. And his vision and what he did with God of War, he deserves to make his own IP.
I'm 100% with you. I really want to see him just like let loose, do whatever him and the rest of the team want, and just blow us away with something entirely new. Because again, like Ragnarok is here, it's fantastic. I'm sure it's going to be a little while before we see anything brand new in the God of War space entirely moving forward. But I'm excited to see whatever it's going to be. I want to see it. And I can't wait to do so. But let's talk about
I
our
got
next
it. I
thing.
got it.
Yeah,
I
I see it.
got it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the next thing, because the Game Awards nominations have been opened and voting is now on. Coming from Ryan Dinsdale once again over at IGN. We got a whole bunch of stuff. God of War Ragnarok is leading the way with 10 nominations. Elden Ring is right behind it with 7. And God of War is nominated for Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Audio Design, 2 in Best Performance, Best Action Adventure, and Innovation in Accessibility. And Elden Ring is also has a bunch of stuff across the board. For the Game of the Year category, we're just going to touch on a few of these categories. We're not going to go through all of them, but let's get some of the big ones. For Game of the Year, we have A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Court, what do you think will win, and what do you want to win?
God of War and God of War. I think God of War is winning. But caveat on here, I've only played Plague Tale. As Kevin in the chat knows, wasn't a big fan of it. And I did not touch Elden Ring, but God of War to me, it seems like a slam dunk at this point. It got nominated for more, I believe. The buzz around it. I am one of those people that thinks recency bias does always comes into play.
Yep.
You are going to have those people that are not going to want to vote for it just for that reason. I'm very surprised Stray is on this list and not Cult of a Lamb. It's so weird to me. Cult of the Lamb beat the living daylights out of me, but I enjoyed it.
Yep.
And it was a lot like Echo Generation for me on a game that hurt me. Like, it was hard to play, but I still enjoyed the game. Cult of the Lamb had a lot of great things going for it, and I was just very surprised it's on there. I'm not saying Stray is a bad game in any way, shape, or form, but Game of the Year,
Stray is great, but I don't think I don't think it's Game of the Year material. I think there's a lot of other games for me, even stuff like Citizen Sleeper or Neon White, other games that like did some really cool, interesting stuff. Stray's a lot of fun. It's adorable. I think it tells a good story, but does it reach the same heights as in God of War Ragnarok or as in Elden Ring? No. I do like that we at least got some indie representation on there, so that's a win for me. But I think you're right. Cult of the Lamb seems like it should have been.
But that's if you were gonna throw in the indie game, like, it should have been Cult of the Lamb. And then you have a game like Plague Tale that the art direction on that game is phenomenal. But do I think it's Game of the Year? No. Like, I know Kevin loves it, and I'm pretty sure it's his Game of the Year from Save the Game Media, but it just didn't click for me. It's a lot like the game Pentiment that just dropped, that everybody was giving it a 10 out of 10s, but I knew once users played it, the user score would be terrible on this game, because I was like, this is just not for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the thing too. I think like
God of War has more of a mass appeal.
Yep.
And Elden Ring also falls into that category that it's not for everyone. It wasn't for me. I don't have a lot of time to play video games. So if the game is going to go out there and beat the living daylights out of me, I ain't going to buy it. Except Cult of the Lamb, because everybody was having so much fun, and the buzz around it was great. The buzz around Elden Ring was like, hey, this game is extremely hard, but it's cool. And I'm like, yeah, it just doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, I think recency bias is definitely going to come into effect here. I do think the votes are going to ultimately be split between Elden Ring and God of War, and you'll notice that we haven't even brought up Horizon or Xenoblade Chronicles. Horizon, again, I thought was really great. Is it GOTY? No.
But it is one of my favorite games this year.
It deserves to be in the conversation. I just don't think it's going to win. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3 similarly is a kind of a niche JRPG, and like even among JRPG fans, it's a bit niche. So it's like, I don't think it's just going to get the votes. I think ultimately I want God of War to win. I think God of War should win. I wouldn't be surprised if Elden Ring does take it, though. I think the votes are going to be split immensely between those two, and it's ultimately going to come down to which game resonated with people more and how strong recency bias is.
Yeah, like Horizon, I think it's still going to get votes.
Yes.
I truly enjoyed it, but when I look at the votes. Okay, you have 3 PlayStation games: Stray, God of War, and Horizon. Okay, well then God of War beats all 3 of it. Like, God of War is the number 1 out of the top, those 3.
Yep.
And then I agree with you. I think it's down to God of War and Elden Ring, and we see what happens. But hey, don't be surprised if Stray wins and everybody loses their minds.
That would be absolutely hilarious. And I'd kind of be about it just for the chaos that would follow. Possibly on Twitter, if that's still a thing by the time the Game Awards finish, but we'll see.
Okay, you know what? Since you brought it up, Twitter isn't going anywhere, people. Like,
Burn it all down.
There's an article that just came out that's on Twitter there. Like, people, you gotta stop freaking out. I love Kevin's tweet last night. He was just like, what is going on and why is everybody all freaking out? Kevin, in the future, just simple Google search. But there's an article that was put out. It's just the Twitter employees that amplified that hashtag and everybody was jumping on it. There are still people working there. I don't think you spend that kind of much money and it just burn it all down. Elon sucks. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, whatever, you can take it or leave it. What he's done with this, he's a smart man, but I think he's just jumped the shark and just gone in a different direction on how he views the world. But that happens. People that rich and that smart, they just, remember, they get a little psycho out there. I don't think Twitter's going anywhere. I went on that Mastodon thing. That is terrible. That is the worst platform I've ever been on. I'm not going back to Facebook. So you know what? If Twitter goes down, you can find me on Discord because I ain't going anywhere else. No, I hate TikTok. And nope, it's not going to happen.
But by the way, I don't know. I don't know what's actually going to happen to, whether it's death by 1,000 cuts, whether they're able to pull it up or whatever's going to happen next. But, we'll be here. You know where to find us here on youtube.com/carpoolgaming or patreon.com/carpoolgaming.
Sorry, I had to say my piece because I'm tired of the, hey, I'm leaving Twitter. Yeah, no one cares. Don't give a whole thing about you leaving Twitter. That's the most self-serving tweet I've ever seen. Like, hey, look at me. Look what I... Please stop. Stop with those things.
All right, we'll get ready for next week's show all about how I'm leaving Twitter. Moving on to the next best narrative. We got Plague
Love
Tale
you,
again.
Kevin.
Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. Have you played Immortality, Court? I haven't played it yet.
I started playing it and I just wasn't like, Steve Igvari, friend of the show, was like raving about it. And I hopped in, I played it for about 2 hours. I don't know. Wasn't for me.
Fair enough. I need to check that one out because it's also on Netflix now.
I think you will like it.
I think I would too. I just need to sit down and actually play it. But yeah, it's on Netflix now. So if you're not on PlayStation or Xbox, that's a space to play. But I think that could be a dark horse there. Let's kind of swing through some of these other ones. Best indie game, here we go. Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic.
Which is hilarious. Stray's in there, but Cult of the Lamb's gonna win that. Like, how is Stray in best indie and in game of the year, and watch Cult of the Lamb beat it as best indie? That just tells you right away that Stray shouldn't even have been like, so weird. Good on PlayStation though. Like, whatever.
Yep. For me personally, though, I want Neon White to win this. That's still one of my favorite games this year. That game was an absolute blast. I liked it more than
I
Cult
haven't
of the Lamb
played that.
personally.
What's that about?
It's basically a speed running game. So like the intent of each level is to rip through it as fast as possible. You collect cards throughout the level that you basically use. So you'll pick up like a shotgun card. When you use it, it goes away. So it's like planning which cards do you use at which moment, and then how do you get to it. It's honestly, dude, it's really, really good. And like, it's not like it's basically just like using an ability that has a one use thing. And as you just like fly through the levels, it's a ton of fun. And honestly, some of the best level design I've seen in any video game in a long time. It has some brilliant level design.
Is it on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus?
I played it on the Steam Deck. Let me double check right now exactly if you can find it elsewhere.
Also, Kevin in the chat just brought up a great Nobody Saves the World was a great game. Even I like that game.
I didn't resonate with that one very much personally.
See, I liked it.
And
once again, that's the power of stuff like PlayStation Plus and Game Pass.
Yep.
When you put a game on there, we're all gonna try it. And I would never have tried that game. And then it was on Game Pass and I played it. So like I look at, and Stray's another one. It was on PlayStation Plus. I finished it, I played it. I wouldn't have played it. As much as it's got a cute little kitty cat on it.
Yeah.
It was not a chance in the world I was playing that game.
Yeah, no, it was the perfect timing for it alongside PlayStation Plus. But Neon White's on Switch and on Windows, so those are your kind of two spots where if you want to check it out, that's where you could do so. Let's take a look. Let's see if I'm just ripping through this list here to see if there's anything else that we want to bring up.
They're all the other categories. I'll even say this about the Game Awards. It's great and all, but I'm of the mind that award shows are just pointless at this point. Like, what is your favorite game? What is my favorite? That's all that really matters. What is the community's favorite game? Because what people put up on a pedestal and say is game of the year, half the time you're like, whatever. Like, who cares?
The Game Awards are basically much more of a world exclusive machine than anything
Exactly.
else.
That's the only reason I'm watching.
That's the
I
only
couldn't
reason
care
I'm-
less
yeah.
what game wins an award.
Me neither. The only reason I'm watching there is to see what's coming next, and that is just a large area where we do get a lot of news about what's coming next. So I'm with you. For me, I don't really care that much about what wins and what doesn't, but I'm super excited to see what Keighley has in store for us because again, this is kind of the best place for it as things stand.
I'll call it right now. We will get the new Uncharted game at the Game Awards. We will get to see that trailer because PlayStation's that's where they always drop it. It's Game Awards if they're going to drop it. We will get the Naughty Dog logo at the Game Awards, not just Uncharted, because we're obviously going to be getting more of The Last of Us. I think we're going to get another Last of Us trailer for the HBO show, but I think we get that rumored Uncharted game drops at the game. Let's do this right now. It's Game Awards. Let's do it. And I think from X, well, and then we're going to get something huge from Xbox, but I think it's just going to be, maybe Indiana Jones is my guess.
See, I'm with you
because we got those screenshots. Like we saw the screenshots of Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm with you that I think we're going to find something new out. I think you're right. An HBO teaser is a lock. I think we're getting the multiplayer game. I don't think we're going to see Uncharted.
You know what? I didn't even think about factions. I was like, oh yeah.
I think we're getting Last of Us.
But PlayStation hasn't had a state of play though, right? So like they could be dropping some bombs on this.
They could be doing a couple things. They very well could be. But for me, I think
I'm still sticking with my. You know what? You have yours, and I think you're 100% right. And I got mine.
I think it's Factions and Spider-Man 2. I think if anything that we're going to see, I think those are the two things we're going to see. And then if I'm sure Uncharted is real, and I'm sure it's coming at some point. I think we're going to see Factions and Spider-Man before we see Uncharted, personally. Okay. But we will find out.
I feel like Factions is more of a state of play. Because it's not a big woo.
No, but I think they are going to make it a big woo. I don't think it's just going to be here's the multiplayer mode. I think they're building it more like a big MMO survival.
Well, the rumor is what? February, March?
I don't know. I haven't heard any rumors as to a possible release.
Well, there's possible rumors. Well, I'm sure it's going to be beta. That game, if they're smart, bring that out as a beta.
They're just gonna make it free to play, dude. They're gonna make it free to play.
No, it's definitely free to play.
Yeah,
we've been saying it's definitely free to play.
And I think it's just going to be. I think it's going to be a much bigger, grander experience than the original multiplayer. So that's why I think they're gonna make like a big show out of it. Is to be like, look at how different it is. Look at how much you can do now.
I think you need PlayStation Plus. Otherwise, it ain't free to play. Doesn't matter what tier. You have to have PlayStation Plus.
Interesting. I very much wonder if that's true because they're free to play stuff you don't need PlayStation Plus for. So I feel like they would be setting a new precedent.
I
know, at that point.
But
I know what you mean. Though.
They need subscribers, man. They need subscribers. That's the goal, right? Like if you look at what Phil Spencer just talked about, with everybody keeps going on and on and on in nauseum about Call of Duty, like no one cares. It's that every time someone talks about Call of Duty, I want to just put up that like Peter Griffin thing of like no one cares. But he kept talking about. He wants to sell Game Pass.
Yeah.
And also how big the mobile Candy Crush thing is. He's like, everybody's getting mad about this, but I really care about the mobile thing. Like it's kind of PlayStation needs to sell PlayStation Plus. And that's why I also think the PC game should be there, because if you put day and date your games on PC as well, you're selling PlayStation Plus on PC. And you know how we both feel about that app.
I feel like what I'm still not sure from PlayStation is if PlayStation Plus, if they did it just to shut people up, or if it's something that they're really going to put time and money behind. PlayStation has a history of putting something new out and then abandoning support. It's not the first time we've seen it. It sure as hell won't be the last time we see it. So for me, is PlayStation Plus their Game Pass? Are they going to put the same weight behind it, or did they put it out as purely as a response to Game Pass and it's just going to live on in its kind of current state? That's my biggest question. If they are putting their weight behind PlayStation Plus as a service in perpetuity for the time, for the foreseeable future, then I think you're right. I think that makes sense. If they're still like play the games on PlayStation, if they're on PlayStation Plus, cool. Like
points.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We just disconnected. 1 sec. I'm just waiting for it to reconnect. That was super weird.
We're back.
We're back. Cool. So yeah.
You make very good points about that, especially because we know that they have in The Last of Us Part 2 and the remake, we were able to wear all the different t-shirts.
Yep.
of the different characters for out of the PlayStation. So I have a funny feeling those will be the things that like, hey, PlayStation Plus members, here you get to wear all the T-shirts that Ellie had in the game.
Or I could even see them being like, guess what? You get a 20% off of the currency inside of factions if you have
keep
a
forgetting
PlayStation.
free to play games or gotchas.
I'm telling you, dude. I think we might see that route. Like, but again, I could totally see them going that way in that direction too.
Hey, if EA made it, I could see them charging us for ammo. So
there you go. That's really a true survival horror game. You have to buy each piece of ammo. Let's round out with just one last story before we get into questions, because The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt's next gen update arrives this December. Once again, our boy Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN writes, CD Projekt Red has announced that the PS5, Xbox Series, and PC next gen update for The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt will be released on December 14th as a free upgrade to anybody who already owns the game. Court, were you big into Witcher 3? I can't remember.
Yes, huge. I went as far as I only had it on PlayStation 5, so I just recently bought it because it's like on sale for like $20 on my Xbox Series X, so that no matter what, I can test out which version is better, because I can't wait, because it's a free upgrade, right? So as long as you had the like super duper version, you get the free upgrade. I love The Witcher. That was a game though that I couldn't get into the DLC because it's just so long. It just took so much out of me that I couldn't go back in.
Okay.
But I have a funny feeling when they do it, I'm going to be going back on my PS5. I'm going to play it again, and I'm just going to play it all.
So you think you're going to restart from the beginning?
Yes. Well, no, because I have my save. I think I'm going to do the DLCs.
You're just going to go straight into the DLC. I did the first DLC. I can't remember the Stone and Swords. I can't remember anymore. I didn't get to Blood and Wine. So I might use that as an opportunity to jump into Blood and Wine. Maybe you're right on that front. But I'm curious to see more of this. It seems like CD Projekt Red is working very, very hard in a comeback perspective. And I saw a lot of people very excited about this on Twitter. So it's earlier than I thought it was going to be, because I think they announced that it was coming next year or something. Like, it was supposed to hit this year, and then I think it was delayed, and now it's coming back around. So December is turning into a very, very busy month between Midnight Suns, between Callisto Protocol, and now The Witcher 3's next gen update.
Oh, Callisto Protocol is #1 stunner. Like, it's funny. We look at, like, we're reviewing. We just reviewed another game, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play Kenna. I'm gonna finish it. But Callisto Protocol, that's all I can think about.
Dude, I can't stop thinking about Marvel Midnight Suns. I can't.
Yeah.
A lot of the previews came out now, and people are saying that it's surprisingly good. I'm in. I can't wait. I cannot wait. And Callisto Protocol will probably come after, because I just can't wait for Marvel Midnight Suns. But let's round out with a couple questions from the Carpool. Continuing on Steve Vigvari's question at SVigvari over on Twitter. Steve asked, can pizza be considered an open-faced sandwich?
Yes. So I'm of the mind that a hamburger is a sandwich. People get so angry. Hot dog is a sandwich. As long as you have 2 pieces of bread, if you fold that pizza, it's a sandwich. So yes, it can be an open-faced sandwich. You put it on bread, it's a sandwich. Telling you.
I never really considered this. Maybe, sure. I don't know why people get caught up on this classification of food thing so very much.
I love just pissing people off.
Oh, I know you do. Even with the hamburger sandwich thing, but yeah, I sure, Steve, if you think so, I'll believe you.
Well, who knows if he thinks so?
I'm gonna add that caveat. If he thinks so, I agree. And Nagachaka asks over at Nagachaka on Twitter, who is the best Spider-Man? Why is it Miles Morales?
He's not wrong. Sorry, I'm sure you have a different answer than me, but I truly love Miles Morales. After, I didn't know much about him, to be totally honest, until Into the Spider-Verse. Or Spider-Verse, I guess. Into the Spider-Verse is the new one, right?
No, Into the Spider-Verse is this one.
The best Marvel movie, by the way. Into the Spider-Verse is the best Marvel movie there is, and it's not even a little bit. And I loved Miles Morales in that character, and so I started reading the comics after that, just from that. And I just love his character and how he's not so. Peter Parker's got, even though Peter Parker's a little bit of a geek, he's got a little bit more confidence. And I love the fact that Miles Morales is not as cocky and not as confident as Peter Parker is all the time. I found Peter Parker in the comics, they made him a little bit of a cocky, he's like, oh, I'm Spider-Man. I get it. But Miles Morales is he's not sure of himself all the time, a lot myself most of the time. So I just like him so much better. And his suit's better looking. He's
Yeah.
got better powers.
I
I'm not gonna lie, he's just better.
I love Miles. I also love Peter just because he's a Spider-Man that I grew up with. He's a Spider-Man that I've been a big
I
fan
know.
of for a long time. But I like them both.
You love-
But actually, the best Spider-Man is actually Spider's Man, which is just a Spider-Man that's entirely made of tons of little spiders working together to be Spider-Man. Spider-Punk, also awesome. Ghost Spider, also awesome. There's a ton of awesome spider people out there in the wild universe. But yeah, Peter and Miles are my top two for sure. And I would honestly say that they're pretty close to tied. But yeah, I love Peter. I always have, and I always will. And especially Ultimate Peter Parker is also a whole different world, and also just incredibly cool. But
Continue. No, someone needs tissues.
Okay.
Continue.
But this brings us to the end of the show, Court. If people want to see and hear more from you, where could they do so?
You can find me on Twitter at Court Lalonde, or you can see me on socials because I'm not fired at Carpool Gaming.
Make sure you head over and find Court on Mastodon, his favorite social media platform.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
As for myself,
So
you can
bad.
find me over on Twitter at burnout_Matt, at youtube.com/burnoutbrighter, and also helping out at Level 1 Gaming. They're doing a subathon this weekend tomorrow, so go hang out there if you're curious to see more. But that brings us to the end of the show. We appreciate all of you so very much. Head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you have bucks to toss them our way. We appreciate you very, very much. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
As always, we love to thank our Patreon supporters, and I want to start off with our ultimate producers, Robbie Bobby Miller, Tony Baker from Quest 4 Pixels. Please subscribe to youtube.com/Quest 4 Pixels today. Dallas Ford, co-host of The Blaine Game. Support Dallas on YouTube to get these guys to 100 subs. Emily O'Kelly, Trucker Sloth, Jonathan Brown. The new episode from PME is called Gems and is available on Spotify and Apple Music. Lee Navarro, the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. And honestly, Carpool Gaming's tech support. Links are all in the show notes. Please support these ultimate producers. Platinum producers, Marcus McCracken, RJ Kern and Skinny Matt. Gold members, Anna W., Cicely Caruso, Dallas Robbins, Daroesh, Fulis Fuji, Jose Jimenez, Marcus O'Neill, Nagachaka, and the Snack Network. Also, I want to thank our newest patrons, Sean Hennigan and Ryan Craig. Also, I want to thank Tim Paulin for upgrading to Gold member. Thank you very much.